when the diagnosis changes, but the family doesn't? What happens when the diagnosis changes, but everybody around your loved one keeps expecting the same person? Sometimes the biggest source of stress isn't the diagnosis itself, it's the family trying to live by rules that no longer fit today.
Hey loves, welcome to A Touch of Love Talks podcast. I'm Lovey Baxter, family nurse practitioner, master's level social worker, and certified dementia practitioner. I'm so glad you're here. This is a safe space to talk about the challenges of taking care of your aging family member. I'm going to teach you how to protect your peace. Make sure you are informed and supported through this difficult journey. So you made it. You're in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Get comfortable, kick back, and let's dive in.
Hey, loves. Welcome back to A Touch of Love Talks, the podcast, where you're in the right place at the right time to get the right information. I want to talk about what happens when the diagnosis changes. Not the doctor's appointments, not the paperwork. I'm talking about when everybody goes home and now you have to actually live with what you just found out. Wow, it can be hard because that is where things get real. You can sit in the doctor's office and hear the words dementia, Parkinson's, stroke, cognitive decline, whatever the diagnosis may be, and understand the words intellectually, but emotionally, ooh, child, your heart may still be expecting the person you knew before the diagnosis. That's what we got to dig into today. And I think that's where families get stuck. You just haven't adjusted yet. You still remember mom who could run the entire family without writing anything down. You remember dad who handled everything and always knew exactly what tool he needed, where to pick it up from, and he knew exactly what to do. And now you're looking at them thinking, oh boy, why can't you just do what you used to do? I want my mom back. I want my dad back. But that question will wear you out. Let it go. Let it go. A better question would be, what can they do now? That's where we have to change our mindset. Where are we at right now? Because that is where caregiving has to begin. Okay? Not with yesterday, not even with tomorrow. Start with today. And I know that sounds simple until you're actually living in it. I get it. I get it. Your loved one may have a whole conversation with you and then ask you the same question 30 minutes later. And now you're frustrated because you're thinking, we just talked about that. We literally just talked about this. But if their brain is not holding that information, reminding them that you already told them does not suddenly make them remember. It doesn't. It may only make them realize they got something wrong. So, sometimes you have to stop and ask yourself, am I trying to help right now? Or am I trying to prove that I'm right? Because you can win the argument and still lose the person. Not everything needs to be corrected. If mom says she wants to go home and she is already home, you do not have to stand there arguing. Don't get into a 30-minute conversation. Mom, you are home. You are home. Maybe what she is really telling you is that she feels confused or unsafe. So instead of arguing with the words and the verbiage that is being used, respond to the feeling. Come sit with me. Sometimes that does more than a 10-minute explanation could ever. And y'all, please stop turning everyday conversations into memory tests. We got to stop doing that. Instead of, do you remember who this is? Here we go, pop quiz. Because the answer is probably no, I don't remember. So instead, just say, this is your niece, Karen. Maybe not Karen, maybe Judy, not Karen. Give them information without making them prove they can remember it. That's my point, okay? And then always, always, always watch your tone. Because even when somebody does not understand every word you are saying, they may still understand exactly how you're making them feel. So watch your tone, just like when you were little. Watch your tone. Dementia may steal the details, but it does not always steal the ability to feel disrespected. Got to be careful of that. Now let's talk about the family. Because sometimes the person with the diagnosis is not the only one struggling. Everybody responds differently. One person jumps into action. That's me. Another person goes into denial, and then somebody else may say, Mom, it's fine. I just talked to her. Oh, those people. Okay, whatever. You talked to her for 10 minutes. The person that was caring for her every day may see something completely different, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, I digress. Instead of fighting over whether things are really that bad, look at what is actually happening, okay? What has changed? What has become unsafe? What can your loved one still do? What can they still do independently? That is where your decisions need to come from. Remember this, y'all. A 10-minute phone call does not make you an expert on somebody's 24-hour caregiving reality. Yep, I said it. And I know we've talked about family roles and family meetings before, so I don't want to spend this episode going back down that road. Howsoever, I want to talk about something deeper, but I don't want y'all to forget about that because those are very important. But what happens inside of you when the person you love starts changing? Let's talk about that because nobody really prepares you for that. Sometimes your mom is sitting right in front of you and you miss your mom. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your husband is still sleeping beside you, but you miss him because that's not him. Sometimes your dad is still there, but you miss the dad who used to give you advice instead of needing you to make the decisions for him. And people feel guilty even saying that. Y'all need to sit with those feelings for a minute. You can be grateful they are still here and still grieve what has changed. Both can be true. And when you never acknowledge that grief, sometimes it comes out as anger. Yep, I said it. It's true. You lose patience. You resent the repetition. And then you feel guilty because you know they cannot help it. That cycle will wear you down. So give yourself permission to say, you know what? Miss who we were. I miss the mom I had. I miss the dad I had. I miss my grandma, my grandpa. It's okay. Sometimes caregiving is grieving somebody who is still sitting in the room with you. Find somewhere safe to put that grief. A counselor, a caregiver group, listening to A Touch of Love Talks, the podcast, maybe a trusted friend. Somewhere you can tell the truth without having to apologize for it is my point. If you journal, that's amazing. Journal. Because if you spend every day pretending to be strong and eventually, strong just becomes exhausted, I promise you. Eventually, you're going to wear yourself out. And while the family is adjusting, be careful that you do not take everything away from your loved one too soon. A diagnosis comes and suddenly nobody lets mama do anything. Come on, y'all. She can still do some stuff for herself. Everybody answers for her, and she's sitting right there. I hate that. I hate that. Everybody makes decisions around them. I know you're trying to protect her, but protection can come across as being very controlling very quickly. And if she can still participate, let her participate. Let your dad participate. If grandpa can still make a choice, let him make a choice, y'all. I promise you. Support what is becoming difficult without automatically taking away what they can still do. Do not make somebody helpless before the disease does. Don't do that. That one might step on somebody's toes. But for me, dignity matters. And preserving their dignity can be something as simple as letting your loved one answer before you answer for them. Sometimes it means letting them take a little bit longer to do whatever it is they need to do. Caregiving will test every part of you that likes things done quickly. Ask me how I know. I'm very impatient. I want things done very quickly. But with my patience, I got to slow down. And here's another place that families get stuck. They keep trying to get back to normal. How do we get mama back to the way she was? You can't. You can't. What can we do so everything feels normal again may be a better question. And depending on the diagnosis, that may not be where this is going. It just may not. I know that that's painful to hear, but I told y'all we're going to be real here. Sometimes peace starts when you stop trying to rebuild the old normal and begin asking, what can a good life look like now? Can mama still laugh? Yes, she can. Let's laugh together. There you go. Can dad still enjoy the people around him? Yes, he can. Let's have a party. Let's have a dinner. Can you still have moments of connection with your spouse? You probably can. Those are the moments that are going to matter. Quality of life can not only be measured by what somebody has lost. Think about it. If you keep comparing today to who they used to be, you may miss the person who is still right in front of you today. Now, let me speak to the caregiver for a minute. You're going to get it wrong sometimes. You're not perfect. You're going to lose your patience. You're going to be mad. You may sometimes think, oh my goodness, I wish I could do that over. I could have handled that differently. I wish. It's okay. It is okay. You are human. I'm sorry to tell you, you forgot. You're human. Do not turn one bad moment into evidence that you're a bad caregiver, a bad daughter, a bad son, a bad niece, nephew. Just reset, learn from it, and try again. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's go. New day. Thank you, God, for giving me another chance to get it right. That's how I start my day. You are not perfect, so stop striving for perfection. You need enough awareness to recognize when something is not working. And sometimes the thing that needs to change is not their behavior. It is your response to it. Drop the mic, right? That's hard to hear. That is difficult because our first instinct is usually, well, they keep doing this. They keep doing that. They won't listen. They keep asking the same thing. Oh, shut up. Shut it up. They're supposed to. That's where they are right now. But what happens when we change our side and we stop correcting every detail? We slow ourselves down, find your inner peace, and just adjust to what we expect them to remember. Change you. Now we're actually solving something, right? And eventually you may realize we cannot keep doing this alone. I may have to get some help in here. And that one sentence does not mean that you or anyone else in the family has failed. It may simply mean something needs to change. Maybe more help comes into the home. Maybe eventually you start looking at placement. Residential care homes are amazing, by the way. Assisted livings, memory care, long-term care facilities. The specific option is not the point. My point is recognizing when the care your loved one needs has become bigger than what you or the family can safely provide. There's no medal for waiting until everybody in the family is exhausted before you ask for help. You don't get a trophy for that one, I promise you. And do not wait for the absolute worst day to learn what your options are, right? We talked about that a lot on this podcast. We don't like to wait for crises. You do not have to make a change today, but just know what's available, okay? Start doing your research. Know what your loved one wants while they can still tell you. We want to make a plan. We talk about that a lot. Know what circumstances would make you say, okay, now we need more support. Because here we go. What's my favorite thing? Crises removes options. We don't like dealing with crises. Planning protects them. And before we close, I want to go back to the title of my episode today. When the diagnosis changes, but the family doesn't. The family has to become more flexible. You have to learn who your loved one is now. They're different. They have changed. Not because who they were no longer matters, but because who they are today matters too. That may mean you communicate differently. You may have to redefine independence and what that looks like, what that means. You may have to just stop and grieve. You may have to just grieve. And you may have to ask for help. But the goal cannot be spending the next 5 years fighting reality. That's not the goal. We want the goal to build the best life you can inside of it, inside of where you are right now. So if your loved one has changed, do not spend all of your energy trying to force them back into the person they used to be. We're not doing that. Meet them where they are, right here. Meet them where they are right now. Love them. Love them where they are. And definitely protect their dignity. Find joy with them there. And when you need support, get it, get it, get it, get it. When you need support, get it. I'll say it 1,000 times because the question is no longer, how do we get back to the way things were? That's not the question. Sometimes you got to switch that around. And the better question is, how do we make today as good as it can be? The diagnosis changed the rules of the relationship, and nobody handed your family the new rule book. So give yourself grace while you learn. Give your loved one grace while they learn and while they change. The diagnosis is not asking you to lower your love. It is asking you to learn a new way to give it. Y'all, that's all I have for y'all today. I got patients that I got to go see. Protect your love, protect your peace, and always, y'all, keep advocating for the one you love.
All right, loves, that's it for now. If this conversation helped you in any way, then go ahead and subscribe so you can stay connected. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can be in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Hey, until next time, protect your peace and advocate for the one you love.